Safety on the railway starts before you get anywhere near the track. Your first task of the day should always be signing in. In an emergency, we need to know who's on site. At the same time, you need to check the name of the person in charge for the day and read the latest safety notices. Only then are you ready to begin. Before you go beyond the public areas, onto the track area, it's vital you're aware of basic safety procedures and working practice. This may be a small heritage railway, but we carry passengers, so our operations should be as safe as any public railway. Let's start with a bit of terminology, so everybody knows what's what. On a standard gauge railway, the gap between the rails is known as the 4-foot. Our railway has a 2-foot gauge, so here it's called the 2-foot. The area of the track bed either side of the rails is known as the cess. Where we have parallel lines, the space between the two tracks is called the 6-foot. You should try to use the correct names for the track areas to avoid any confusion. You must be able to identify the safe working areas from those places which are unsafe when trains are running. On or near the line is the danger zone. This area is the track itself and extending 1 metre either side of the rails. The use of a mobile phone is forbidden in this area. Away from the danger zone is the area known as the line side. When you're on the line side, you are considered to be in a place of safety, where the trains can safely pass you. You will need to wear the correct personal protective equipment. Starting at the top, our well-dressed person about the track is wearing a hard hat. This is compulsory when working with lifting equipment. Next, we have the high visibility vest. This must be approved for working on railways. That means orange, and it must tear off if it gets caught by a train. A pair of strong gloves will protect you from cuts and grazes while keeping your hands clean at the same time. You can wear just about any usual clothing, but you're going to get dirty. So our model is wearing a very fetching boiler suit. The important thing is, it doesn't have any dangling bits or anything else that might get snagged by a train. Finally, we have a pair of safety boots. Whether you wear shoes, boots, trainers or wellies, they must have protective steel toe caps and undersoles. In cold or wet weather, you may want to wear waterproof high-vis clothing. Again, this should be approved for use on railways. These clothes may not tear off, but are still marked with the correct standard. You should never be working close to a moving train, but if an accident were to happen, wearing rip-off clothing could stop you getting dragged under a train. Be prepared before you go on the railway. Take your tools and safety equipment with you. You must put on your high-vis before you start. Always lock any gates behind you to prevent visitors getting onto the track. Where there is a path, use it, as a path is considered a place of safety. You mustn't go on or near the line without permission of the PIC or works coordinator when trains are operating. It is vital the train crews know you are working near the line. This limited clearance sign means there is no place of safety ahead of you. Before continuing, you must check the track for any train operating near you. Only past this point if it's completely safe to continue to the other end of the restriction. Walk to the safe area without stopping. When you are working on the line, if you hear a train whistle a warning, move immediately off of the line to a place of safety. When you are in a safe place, signal to the driver by raising one hand above your head. Face the train until it passes you. Don't go back on the track until it's safe to do so. If you're doing a job where you may not hear or see an approaching train, then you need to work with a lookout. The lookout will be your eyes and ears, making sure you're aware of any traffic in plenty of time to move to safety. Never think it's okay to wave to a driver and carry on working. When walking along the track, you should step on the ballast between the rails. You shouldn't be walking on the sleepers. Sleepers get slippery when wet, especially wooden ones. All sleepers are slippery when oily, and trains drip lots of oil. Where there is no pathway, you can walk in the cess if it's wide enough. However, you shouldn't walk close to the rails as you will disturb the ballast, and you can slip if the ballast moves. Don't walk on or along the rail tops, as rails are always slippery. You must be able to stop a train in an emergency without putting yourself in danger. There are several ways of doing this. Signallers and shunters will stop a train using a red flag. The flag is raised and held steady over the track. A driver will stop if he or she sees any flag being waved vigorously, so in an emergency you could even stop a train with a green flag. When you don't have a red flag, raise both arms above your head and keep them raised until the train stops. In poor visibility or at night, shine a red light at the train. If you don't have a red light, wave any light vigorously. Tools are an essential part of most jobs around the track, but careless use can be dangerous. Never put down equipment on the track, it can all too easily be forgotten. A tool left on the rails could derail a train. Don't leave tools in the area known as on or near the line. Be careful not to leave a tool where it could fall onto the line. One of the most dangerous places you can be is in front or behind a train while it's shunting. The train may move forwards or backwards with little warning. Visibility is poor at the front of the loco, and you can vanish from the driver's view. The rear of the train is even worse. The driver can't see anything behind the last coach. Leave at least 2 meters between you and a stationary train when crossing the line. Let's now recap these basic rules. Wear orange high-vis clothing and safety boots. Don't go on or near the line without permission. When a train whistles, move to a place of safety and raise one arm above your head to tell the driver you've heard the train. Check for trains before entering a limited clearance. Walk on the path where it exists. When walking on the track, step on the ballast, not the sleepers. Walk in the cess if it's wide enough, but don't disturb the ballast. Don't walk on the rail tops. Stop a train in an emergency by holding up a red flag, raising both arms above your head, or at night shine a red light or wave any light vigorously. Never leave tools on or near the line, as they could derail a train. The driver can't see you in front or behind the train. Leave at least 2 meters between you and the stationary train when crossing the line. These are the basic rules which should allow you to work safely on the railway. There are other rules and regulations that must be observed when working with locomotives and rolling stock. You will learn these before working in other areas. All of the rules and regulations are contained in our railway rulebook. You will now be given a copy of this book. You will sign for it to say you've received it. Thank you for taking the time to watch this, and please work safely.